I teased an item about something that is occurring here in the state of Florida. So you guys ready for some more great public relations for the state of Florida? Of course, we're known for, the crazy stories, the whole origination of like Florida Man and, a Florida man, chased by police, got eaten by an alligator, the whole thing. So Florida, we certainly get a bad rap for a number of things.
We deserve it.
Guess what? Now we're getting a new bad rap. Why? Because Florida is now listed among the worst states for tipping.
Huh.
I totally believe it.
Well, a lot of that, does that include people that travel too? Tourists that come here and maybe have different tipping customs? Maybe from different countries?
Well, you get a lot of tourists here, and if you have a lot of foreign tourists, in a lot of foreign countries, you don't tip. In a lot of foreign countries, you're at a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would feel weird.
It's built in.
Yeah.
Like in France, you don't tip anywhere.
In Italy.
In Italy, you don't tip. It's built into. Now,
but it's the custom. It's built into the bill.
Well, no, a lot of people don't. So the servers in like France and Italy and other places, they love when they get uninformed tourists because then they get a tip on top of the fact that the tip is really built in to your check. But the deal in Florida, you get a lot of foreigners that come to Florida also, and they don't understand. Yeah, we tip here. So I saw this story on the Channel 10 website that in a ranking of states with the most generous tippers, we are near the bottom. Florida is 48 out of 50.
Yeah, thanks, Canadians.
That's another thing. Is that real? Is that founded or unfounded that Canadians are terrible tippers? That's always been a deal. When I was in Virginia Beach, I grew up a good chunk of my life in Virginia Beach. I went to high school in Virginia Beach, and Virginia Beach would attract. For the Canadians too lazy to drive all the way down to Florida, they would stop midway and just stop in Virginia Beach. And that was always a thing because I had friends that were like waitresses or waiters working at joints on the Virginia Beach oceanfront, on the Strip, on Atlantic Avenue, whatever. And that's something I heard years ago when I was back in high school. I heard about, oh, man, the Canadians, it's summertime, they're coming and they don't tip. And I had a friend that worked at like Hojo's.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we used to go to Friday night, all you could eat clam strips. Fried clam strips at a Hojo Friday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if that Hojo's still there.
All the Canadians were like, if you want good clam strips, go to Virginia Beach.
But all of my friends would always complain about the Canadian tippers. But now we know that out of 50 states, that Florida is number 48 out of 50 as far as generous tipping. We're near the very, very bottom.
Okay, we had to have beaten Mississippi because Mississippi finishes last in everything.
I don't have I guess there's a link here. I have the top states. I'll get to that here in a second. Fester, bring up the story. Maybe we can find the whole damn list.
I don't care about the top states. I want to know the scumbag states like Florida.
So you want to know who's worse than Florida?
Where'd you find it?
Well, I saw it on Channel 10, but they don't have all the stuff on here. But this is a restaurant software company data that has been shared. According to data from this restaurant software company, the study was published by the digital payment platform Toast, the one that brings up a screen with the tip amounts. That's a whole other thing. I am so fed, and we brought this up on the show. I'm fed up with the whole forced guilt tipping scheme, where you're at a place where you typically would never tip, and then on the screen it's like, would you like to add a tip? And, they're staring at you like, hey, you going to tip? I'm watching you. Are you tipping? And I just love to hit no tip. I mean, there are places where, I'm sorry, if you're going to a fast food place and you're taking something out, you don't tip on that. They hand you the bag. You don't tip on that. I'm sorry.
We're getting some texts about tipping in Canada. And yes, they're saying, they're not as good tippers, according to the texters.
Right.
But this one person says, went to a strip club in Canada many years ago, and a buddy was tipping a dancer that was on stage a normal amount in the U.S., but she gathered up the money, threw it back at him, and shouted, I'm not a prostitute.
Oh.
So maybe,
what?
Got news for her.
Wait,
so maybe
are you not supposed to tip the dancers in Canada?
That's what this listener's.
Oh my God!
Okay,
wondering.
I have the whole list of tipping states, by the way.
All right, you have it. All right,
yes.
now, Do you want? I'll do the top 5, and then we'll do the bottom 5. The top 5 states for tipping.
This is such crap.
The top 5 states are as follows: West Virginia, number 5. Number 4, Kentucky. Number 3, Wyoming. Number 2, Indiana. Number 1, Delaware.
West Virginia, the meth capital of
coal miner's daughter, leaving a hell of a tip.
They're the top 5, West
Yeah,
Virginia.
they still mountain dance there.
I mean, seriously,
Well-
Mountain Dew is like what they baptize babies in there. And they're a great tipping
Great
state.
tippers.
Florida, we're 48 out of 50. So if you want to know the bottom states, Florida comes in at 48 with an average tip of 18.3%. By the way, the number 1 state, which is Delaware, the average tip is 21.8%.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge difference, but Florida's at number 48. Then behind us, worse than Florida, number 49 is Washington State. And number 50, the worst state in the country with the lowest average tipping,
It's got to be Mississippi.
it is not. It's California.
Mississippi.
California. Mississippi.
Hey.
Or in a strip club, you can call it Mississippi.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Mississippi.
Hold on. Andrew wants me to go to phones on the. They just dropped off. Yeah, we had a caller that wanted to get it. What did they want, Andrew? They just, hey, caller, we're just about to go to you, and you dropped off. All right, 800-990-1047.
Yeah, don't you think of like this? You would have to be a good tipper. The state would have to have a range of dining experiences, like regular places to dine, fine dining. They don't have fine dining in some of these spots, Kentucky, West Virginia.
Every state has. Listen, you've got the famous in White Sulphur Springs. What's the famous the Greenbrier?
The Greenbrier
Yeah,
Hotel. West Virginia has some very
Yes.
nice areas.
Do they?
They also have some really podunk in the hills.
But that's everywhere. So
But that's what I'm
same
saying.
thing. Listen, there are places in New York State. You think New York City, all cosmopolitan. There are places up in New York State where you might as well be in the middle of flipping Arkansas.
Right. So you've got to have a range to figure this out.
I had a college roommate when I went to Ithaca, and he was a townie. He was from like a little town like Catatonk or something. I'm sorry. There's a town called like Catatonic. I'm serious. It's like right off Route 96B or something, little south of Ithaca. And I think it's called Catatonk. And I had this roommate, a townie, and I'm telling you, his parents clearly were first cousins.
I got to do a pizzazz report.
Yeah, this pizza's looking really legit.
Yeah,
MJ.
okay, so it's kind of fun to watch. It's kind of mesmerizing. It's bubbling while it's cooking,
Yeah,
and it's like little waves and stuff. It's like hypnotic.
MJ, you got to come around. Just take a quick peek at this.
Hang on a
please
minute.
do.
All right, let me
but-
take my
Well,
headphones
watch the
off.
cheese. It's
I
like
mean,
they're big pockets of
I
air
really
filling it
wish.
up.
I think it's almost done. I don't know if the bottom's done yet, but MJ, I think the
Oh my God, this actually looks
But-
pretty good.
yeah, but look at it. Watch it
I'm over now
bubble
on
and wave.
Fester's mic. Hey, can I be on? Am I on Fester's camera right now? Hey, look at this. Can you hold this up?
I have it in the shot.
It's in the shot. I see it. All right.
You're going to pick it up with a pizza on it? Are you insane?
It's like 500 degrees right now, and MJ's like, "Can I pick it up?" No, don't pick it up.
Let's grab Tony in Lithia. Hello, Tony. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Listen, I kind of wanted to set the record straight a little bit on some of the comments you made.
Yeah.
I've lived all around the world, in Europe and Asia. And in Europe, the reason there is no tipping is because servers are paid career wages, proper wages.
Yeah.
So it's not built into the check, as you say, not at all. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not because of the tip.
Well, what I'm saying, I guess what I should have clarified is the wage or the salary, the regular wage that the server gets, that clearly is factored into the check. It's factored into the cost of the food.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's. So I should have been a little more clear.
And so custom over there, in Europe at least, is just leave the remaining change. That's normally what the custom is. So, of course, when unsuspecting Americans go and leave 20%, they're jumping for joy.
Oh, they love
Without
it.
a doubt.
They love it. And
And-
you know what's happened is in some countries, and, we were in France last summer visiting Chloe, who was doing a class over the summer. We like to go to Italy when we can. And, when they know that you're American, the servers, they're like waiting for you to leave a tip,
Of course.
And then when you don't leave a tip, they're like, son of an educated American not leaving a tip. So,
That's it.
hey, Tony,
Now,
thanks.
another one-
Yeah, go ahead.
I've lived in Japan for 6 years.
Yep.
There's no tipping there
Right.
at all. At all. I'll give you an example. It's not restaurants, but you're in a taxi cab. You try to leave the guy a tip, he's giving it back to you. He's insulted.
Hey, listen.
Oh, yeah, I read that in Japan, they'll chase you down and say, take this back. If you try to... someone just texted me that. They'll literally come after you if you leave the restaurant and return the money.
You gave me 1 yen too much. Take it back.
That's it.
You're changed,
And the
sir.
very last one,
Yeah.
I'm Canadian, actually. I've moved down here, not from Canada, but I am Canadian.
Yep.
And the main reason why maybe Canadians are not such great tippers is because they don't have as big a tipping culture, or at least size-wise, as we do here in the States. They don't tip 20%. Now it's the norm to tip 20 or more. Over there, it's typically 15. And if service is in any way not that great, server no.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Look at the phones here. And I got to talk about the dumb phones. So we're going to segue in a minute into dumb phones. And you're not going to believe what's going on with dumb phones. Not smartphones, dumb phones. Eddie is in Riverview. Eddie, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
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 Yes, Eddie. Hello.
Can you be less excited to be on the radio this morning?
No, I'm actually shocked because I never been on the radio before.
Eddie, it's very easy. Just talk to me. Go ahead.
I was just calling the point about the tip thing you guys were just talking about, and I was wondering if they take in consideration the fact that we have a lot of retirement communities out here, if that would have anything to do with that. That's
Oh,
all.
yeah, fixed income.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of retirement communities and, older residents, I know that we would have to go behind like my grandparents and leave more of a tip.
Yeah.
So when grandma or grandpa, they used to take us out for dinner and, you'd have to like linger behind and take a look at the tip they left. Like got the whole family out, and you got a $400 tab, and they leave, 4 singles on the table for the tip. So I can't tell you how many times I had to go behind and tip for my grandparents to kind of bring the tip up to par.
Put it on the table.
Yeah. Hey, Eddie, very good call, very good point, and you did very well for your first time on the radio.
Thank you.
Eddie, thanks for listening.
Love your show.
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, sir, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all show, man. Thank you.
Eddie, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Eddie.
Let me grab Gabe in Dallas, Texas. Hello, Gabe. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Yeah, no, I work at DFW Airport at a bar at the airport, and the Canadians tip really well. Like, that's been my experience.
Maybe it's just that's old news. Maybe the Canadians come around and now they're more educated that, hey, you tip 20% in America, if the service is good. I do not. If service sucks, then I let you know it. If you're not a friendly server, I let you know it. If you do a great job, I let you know it.
Yeah, I mean, in the service industry, I'm in the service industry. I'm going to tip 20% regardless. But if you're giving me good service, I'm going to tip you way more.
Hey, so I'm just curious, Gabe, as a Dallas resident, you work at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, DFW. How are you listening to the MJ Morning Show? Are you a former Tampa Bay local?
Oh yeah, we moved to Dallas from St. Pete back in 2008.
Gotcha. And then you found that we came back in 2020, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate it. Oh, hey, so you work at a bar at the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you this is great. How do you modulate the folks that are getting tanked up? And you know what part of the problem is? You got people that sit and they go to the airport hours before their flight, and you got a bunch of nervous flyers. You got people that want to get loaded, and then some of those people get on the planes and then they're drunk, and we know that disturbances have been caused. So what is the policy at the airport bar that you work at DFW? What is the policy? Are you guys supposed to make sure you don't overserve, knowing that these people are probably going to get on an airplane?
Well, here's the thing about it. If you're going to work at an airport bar, you got to be a pro, because this is not for the faint of heart. You're in and out, in and out, in and out. And when you get delays and you get those times where people are sitting there for so long, you know how to cut a person off, because you got to do it. That's the thing. And not only that, it's probably the safest place to bartend, because you also have airport security, you got airport police,
You got TSA. Yeah.
You got all of that. So, if you ever have a problem, you get on the phone, airport security is going to be on it.
When's the last time, Gabe, when's the last time you had a problem with a guest, a passenger at the airport, where you needed to cut them off? Anyone ever get belligerent and threaten you?
Well, there was this one girl. She came in and she seemed normal. I gave her a drink, and then all of a sudden she was like sloshed. So it was like, I think she was on like maybe some pills or something.
Oh, so she added the alcohol to whatever pills she had, and she became just a wacko?
Oh, yeah. She couldn't stand. She's like slurring her words. We ended up having to call security.
Yeah, and she can't get on the plane. They're not going to let her fly like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's crazy. Gabe,
nobody knows what the hell. Yeah.
thanks for listening, buddy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. All right, 2 more calls on this. Tim in Riverview, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Go ahead.
So I have a great story for my first trip to Germany with my wife, because she's from Germany, and we went to the Beer Fest in Stuttgart, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And her best friend's husband kept bringing shots to the table. And you have to understand there are thousands of people in one of these beer tents, and there's only one little bar that serves shots. So he kept bringing them, and I told my wife, I said, I want to get around this time. So she tells me where the bar was. I went down there, and it's like a mob, and I'm not pushing my way to get up front because I don't speak the language. I don't want somebody to take it the wrong way or something, cause a problem. So I'm just waiting patiently, like 30 minutes probably to get a round of shots. But when I get up there, I ordered what we call a Jaeger bomb. They call a flying Hirsch, which means
Right.
flying deer. And after I paid for them, I added 20%. And I kind of know that the tip is incorporated in Germany, but I was a 20%er, so I threw 20% on it. And the girl that was helping me, she goes, "Where are you from?" I told her Florida. She goes, "Oh, I'm going to remember you, Jaeger bomb from Florida." I'm like, cool. So I go back to the table. 20 minutes later, probably, I said, "I'm going to go get another round of shots." I go over that bar again, and it's a mob. I'm like 15 people back in this mob, and I'm standing there, and I'm 6'3", so I'm taller than most of the people in there. And the girl that waited on me before, she looks over everybody and points at me and says, "Jaeger bomb." And I'm like, I hold up 4 fingers. I said, 4. And next thing I know, people are passing Jaeger bombs back to me at the back of the pack.
So she moved you to the front of the line because you tipped her nicely.
Yeah, because I'm tipping 20%. She's serving me every time I'd come. I'd be at the back of the line and they'd send it back to me, and I'd send my money up there.
Suddenly, Tim from Riverview is the front of the line. Thanks, Tim. Have a great day. All right, one more call. Let me grab Sandy in Clearwater. Oh, Sandy.
Hey there, MJ. How are you doing?
Oh, Sandy. Go ahead, Sandy. You're on the MJ Morning Show, Sandy.
Oh, so question. What would you call it?
The survey on the credit card, or I'm sorry, the survey on the tipping.
Yeah, so were they basing that solely on sales from credit cards?
Oh, my God, Sandy, your cell phone is just awful.
Oh, is this better?
Not really. All right, so quickly, get the question out because your line is pretty bad.
Yeah, so when I tip, if I use a credit card to pay for my meal, I tip in cash.
Oh, so you tip in cash?
Yes. So that could skew the numbers, too.
Oh, yeah, because...
good point.
Yeah, so if it's a credit card purchase, that could skew the numbers. So maybe the data is just based on you for the Florida number. And since you tip in cash, Sandy, so you put Florida at everything. You put Florida at 48th out of 50 states for tippers. Thank you, Sandy.